Hi guys, good afternoon to one and all. We are right here. Today we are going to meet with uh, Swati. She's a yoga instructor and very excited to meet her. Uh, always been interested. Hi Swati, joined. Let me invite her. Okay, I think I just sent you. Here you are. Hi.
Hi Nikun, how are you?
Good. How are you, Swati? Can you hear me?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes,
Am I
I can
audible?
hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, maybe we are. I think we are hearing us slower than actually we are speaking. A little bit. There's some time gap. I don't know.
Now I can see you.
Okay. Tell us about yourself, Swati.
Hi everyone. So I'm Swati and I'm a yoga teacher. I'm certified prenatal yoga teacher as well. So I do give online sessions, and apart from that, I am professionally manager HR as well.
Nice. So where are you currently living in? Where are you?
So see, I'm currently staying in Gurgaon.
Okay.
Your timing was coming as PST, right?
Okay. So, Swati, and how did your yoga journey begin? How did you get interested in it? Who got you interested in yoga?
Okay. So see what happened. It was in 2017. Yes. So like I got married, and after that I gained a lot of weight, and as usually people started saying, okay, so now you are in your late 20s, you are married as well, so it is not at all possible, to go back to the previous shape, right? So that was the point when actually I started, you know giving it a shot. Okay, let's do it. And then I explored different kind of weight loss exercise. And that point of time, yoga was actually a way of weight loss exercise for me, nothing else. So I
Right.
just tried yoga for the weight loss, nothing else. So
Okay.
then after that, when I started doing it, then I explored, that wider aspect of yoga. Okay, so it is not just related to weight loss, it is not just related to any kind of asana, but there's much more to it, which I felt and anybody can feel even only after, practicing it.
Right.
So until you practice it, you won't, you will not know the benefits of it.
Right. That was something I meant to ask you. Is do you still see yoga as a means of meditation or exercise, or do you think it's a way of life?
It's definitely a way of life. It is not just related to meditation or any kind of asana. It is a way of life. It is actually a need of life. You know, it is not something that you will think, okay, I'll start practicing it by tomorrow. I'll start practicing it like from that day. It is
Right.
not. It is a way of life. It is to be incorporated in your daily life, right? It is a much needed practice. Like you do eat, like every other thing you do eat, right? Every day. You do so many essential things in your daily life. So it is one of them. It is nothing else. It is one of
Right.
them.
Right. So, you after you started practicing yoga, how did you get the idea that you wanted to be certified as an instructor?
Okay. So when I started doing it, as I said, so I saw a lot of benefits. I saw a lot of change in myself, right? It started affecting me, mentally and physically both. So I became more aware. I became more creative. So I could see the difference in me. I was the introvert kind of person, but by practicing it, because I became more aware, I started focusing on the things. So I thought of, giving it a try, because it had become one of my interest area. So I thought of, giving it a try. Okay, let's do some kind of certification in this, then we'll see. And the interest got deeper and deeper, and then finally I became one yoga teacher.
Good for you. That's awesome. And so after becoming a yoga instructor, you're seeing a lot of people now. So which would you say is the, usual thing that you see in a beginner, something that they do wrong?
So are you asking me the kind of, challenges or the mistakes that they do?
The mistakes that they do. Yeah. Common mistakes beginners do actually.
Okay. So first of all, I will give my example. And
Swati,
yes.
Can you hear me? You are buffering. Your video is buffering. Yes. Sorry.
Yes. So such kind of glitch will come and go in these kinds of live sessions.
Yeah, electronic glitches, it's beyond our control. So what can we do?
So see, so first of all, I'll give you my example, when I started, and then I will give the example of my students, so which I face, right, which I see. Right. So what I also thought of, that yoga is a very easy way of exercise. So there's certain kind of, beginners exercise I know. So whenever someone started, teaching me those exercise, through a proper technique, okay, so then I thought of, in my mind, okay, I know it. So I do not need to listen, to the other person, whatever he or she is saying to me, right? So that kind of mistake that I think that everyone does, because we see a lot of videos, right, through which we know, a lot of yogic exercise that are practiced, in daily life. So certain pranayam, certain meditation techniques, certain beginners asanas that everyone knows these days, because everything is available. Right. So sometimes we make, this conception in our mind that, okay, we know this kind of asana. So suppose a very easy asana, you take example of butterfly asana. So we know butterfly asana, what is to be done in that, what is the thing that the person is saying us, we know it. So that kind of thinking that beginners has in their mind, and they do not know what actually goes,
Sorry, you were buffering, so
you need to focus each and.
I was also telling our audience, just like you said, you have to listen. Actually, even if you have practiced it 100,000 times, every time I practice with a different yoga instructor, I learned something new. Actually, something a little bit different. Just hanging on a minute more, or a small adjustment in your posture. Every time you learn something new. And listening is very important, as you said. Yeah. Little common mistakes that you might have done.
Yes. So the inhalations and exhalations mistakes, people actually do not know things, but these things are very, very important. And sometimes what happens, gentle postures. Sometimes you need to practice very gentle postures as per your body, as per your to prepare you for the better postures, to prepare you for the advanced postures. Sometimes you need to practice those gentle postures. You don't need to jump onto the advanced level. But what people do, people, always tend to jump onto the advanced levels. So they need to understand that first they need to go through the gentle postures, and then they can perform on the advanced level. So these kinds of, but we need to teach to students actually. So these are minute details that we need to teach to our students. That, okay, do not jump to the next level. First, you need to practice it. Go slow,
your body
go
needs
steady,
to get ready.
Do not strain, do not overdo, and then awareness. Okay, so what kind of performing?
So, now yoga is being marketed as something very chic and very modern, and something that is glamorized way of exercising. So what do you guys think? Whoever has joined, thank you for joining, and comment comment, what do you think about yoga being glamorized so much? So many celebrities coming into yoga. Is it good or bad too? A lot of celebrities coming in have started to do yoga, and yoga is being marketed as a glamorized way of exercising. So what do you think? Is it good or bad for yoga?
That's definitely good, because those people have a lot of fan following, right?
Right.
So
Right.
they can influence people easily. So, and yogic exercise are such good exercise that has very profound effect on the entire body, that has to be practiced by everyone. It has a lot of benefit for everyone, even for a kid and even for a senior citizen, right? So people who are famous, they have a lot of fan following, they can influence people easily. So it is definitely good for yoga, because it will be a good spread for
Right.
good word for yoga, right?
Right. So can kids do yoga too?
Yes, definitely.
Oh. Is there any age limit only about which they can do?
See, kids can start practicing yoga after age of 4, when they start on their own, right? So they can start practicing it even when you practice it from a smaller age. It has a lot of benefits for you. You can become flexible, from your childhood, rather than even people who are practicing yoga at a later stage of their life. They
Right.
take so much of time to get that kind of flexibility a kid can get, in their childhood.
So you're a prenatal yoga teacher, right? So what do you enjoy about prenatal yoga?
So it is a different kind of concept, right? Unlike a regular practice, you have to be more aware, right? So sometimes you have to go, sometimes you have to go steadily. You need to have, a good kind of mind and body connection. Like, you need to listen to your body when you are pregnant, right? You cannot practice a regular yoga posture. You cannot practice those prawn positions when you are pregnant. You cannot lie down on your stomach when you are pregnant. So those kinds of teachings, that are needs to be given to a pregnant lady, we need to listen to them. So that's a different kind of prenatal yogic exercise, which is very, very different from a regular yoga. So yes, that's how I get associated with prenatal yoga more when it comes to teaching those pregnant ladies. It was working well. I don't know what's happening this time.
Okay, I was just asking your audience too. So do you think yoga is a mental experience or a physical experience?
Are these two different? Sometimes I think about it, because this is one of the questions that is asked so many times, that it is mental or it is physical. But for me, I think mental and physical both are like work as both works together, right? They're not separate entities, they're not different entities. So when you start working on your physical thing, it will definitely affect on your mental health, right? So I'll just give you one example. So suppose you have any emotional tension in your mind, right? And you are just thinking about something. So what it does to you, it causes a different kind of stress. And what happens then? Your lungs capacity, because it affects your respiratory system, right? So your lungs capacity is decreased, it blocks your breathing process. So there are different kind of how the disease arises. So that's how a disease arises in the body. So you need to work on your physical and mental aspect both. These are not different. Both are affecting each other. Both are affecting. So holistic, way where you can practice, or you can, energize your mental and physical health both.
Right. So how is it different from other kind of workouts? They are also advertised for physical well-being, but yoga is advertised for something like a holistic well-being, right? More both mental, physical, psychological, everything. So how is yoga different from other forms of workout?
So first of all, we need to understand these things. It is not any kind of workout. So as I said earlier, I also used to think that it is a mean of a weight loss exercise, or it is any kind of workout, but it is not. It is much more than that. So with
Right.
that thing we need to understand, right? So as I said that as you also said, that it works on the entire body. It works
Right.
on your physical, it works on your mental health, it works on your spiritual health even, right?
Right. Right.
So it is way far way for that.
Right, right. Awesome. So it is more about being aware of your own self, right? Yoga
Yes.
helps you being the increased sense of awareness. How does it help a person? You can even cite yourself as an example. How does that make the quality of life better?
Definitely it increases the productivity. That's how people are concentrating on those yoga exercise more, because it starts increasing your focus. It actually changes you to see the life from a new perspective, right?
Right, right,
So definitely yoga helps a person to change in a certain way, that life automatically becomes more productive, and you start become more creative. You even notice small things. You start noticing small things. So that's how you change when you practice it. So people who practice yoga, they can only know the benefits of yoga. So there are plenty benefits of yoga. So that has that kind of.
and it's supposed to have taken birth in India, where we are from. So how does being Desi affected your yoga journey? How does it still affect your profession? How does being an Indian?
So for me, I think definitely it has come from our Indian heritage, right? So it is so we people are given more importance just because it has been originated from India. But now I think that it has been adopted by everyone. It has gone beyond India. It has been accepted by everyone, and even other countries are practicing it more. Now we have but other countries had started it, had realized the importance in very earlier times, right? So it has gone internationally. So definitely a strong connection is there. As you said, basic connection, the Indian connection. But I think that yoga is a culture in itself.
Right.
Yoga not related to any Desi or Videshi culture. It is a culture in itself.
Right. So that's what I keep telling everyone. It's a experience. It's not a form of workout. It's not something that you do because you have to do, and it doesn't belong to any particular religion, culture, country. No, it's an experience that every person belonging to the human race is entitled to and deserve to feel and experience that experience. It's a beautiful experience, and everyone must try to experience it at least a few times in your life, because if you experience it a few times, you will never let go. You'll keep doing
Definitely.
it. So you were really inspiring, Swati. Thank you for your time and your yoga practice. Let it always be wonderful, keep you wonderful, happy, and keep those around you and those who teach you be happy and wonderful too. Thank you for helping so many people, and thank you for your time here. So thank you so much for being with us and telling us about the experience of yoga. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nikon. I enjoyed as well. Thank you.
You're welcome, Swati. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Bye. Yeah.